sun scorches the earth with unforgiving heat. The barren landscape stretches endlessly, and the very ground you walk on hides creatures that can kill in a heartbeat. No water, no shelter, just vast, unforgiving wilderness filled with venomous snakes, deadly spiders, and stealthy predators. These are the 15 reasons you never want to find yourself alone in the Australian Outback. Number 15. Inland Taipan. Out in the desolate, sun-scorched deserts of Australia, one creature lurks in the shadows, so dangerous that even a brief encounter can spell disaster: the inland taipan. This snake, often called the fierce snake, is not one to cross paths with. But if you do, it's critical to understand the peril you face. The inland taipan holds the infamous title of the most venomous snake in the world. A single bite contains enough venom to kill 100 adult humans. What makes its venom so terrifying is its speed and potency. Within minutes of being bitten, the venom, loaded with neurotoxins and procoagulants, can cause paralysis, internal bleeding, and organ failure. If untreated, death can occur within an hour. However, due to its elusive nature, human fatalities are extremely rare. This snake prefers to stay out of sight, living in the semi-arid regions of Australia's Channel Country, which includes parts of Queensland and South Australia. Its habitat consists of cracking clays and loamy soils, ideal environments for it to hunt its favorite prey rodents, such as the long-haired rat. The inland taipan is a master of ambush, striking with lightning speed and precision, delivering venom so powerful that its prey dies almost instantly. Although the snake is shy and generally avoids humans, it is also highly adapted to survive the extreme desert climate. It changes color with the seasons, becoming darker in winter to absorb more heat and lighter in summer to reflect the sun's rays. This adaptability not only aids its survival, but also makes it even more dangerous, as its camouflage allows it to blend seamlessly into its surroundings. What's even more remarkable is that despite its lethality, the inland taipan remains relatively peaceful unless provoked. When threatened, it gives a warning by curling into an S shape before delivering one or multiple strikes. Number 14. Feral pigs. Wandering into the Australian outback can be a surreal experience: vast open plains and harsh, unforgiving terrain. But hidden in these remote areas are feral pigs. These animals may not seem like the most menacing creatures at first glance, but in reality, they are one of the most dangerous invasive species in Australia, especially when they feel threatened. Feral pigs are incredibly aggressive, particularly when cornered, and their sharp tusks can cause severe injuries. Standing over 3 feet tall, weighing anywhere between 200 and 400 pounds, they're not easy to deal with. When startled or defending their young, these pigs can charge with surprising speed, inflicting deep wounds. Their powerful jaws and tusks can slice through skin and muscle with ease, making them a genuine threat in the outback. What's even more alarming is that feral pigs rarely travel alone. They often form large groups, called sounders, which can make encounters even more dangerous. These groups can range from a few individuals to dozens, creating a scenario that is hard to escape from if you're caught off guard. There's also their staggering population to contend with. Recent reports estimate that there are now as many as 20 million feral pigs roaming Australia, thanks to ideal breeding conditions following several wet summers. This explosion in their numbers has led to unprecedented damage to crops and native ecosystems. Their destruction of land and spread of disease make them not only a physical threat, but also an environmental menace, leaving barren patches in what is already a fragile desert ecosystem. Even in the Sahara-like dryness of the outback, these animals are resourceful, finding water sources and rooting through soil in search of food. In short, feral pigs are not to be underestimated. Number 13. Saltwater crocodiles. Deep in the murky waterways of the Australian outback, a silent predator awaits its next victim, the saltwater crocodile. This massive reptile, often called the salty, isn't just any crocodile. It is the largest and most aggressive of its kind. With males reaching up to 18 feet long and weighing as much as 1,000 kilograms, these creatures are apex predators in every sense of the word. Once you're in their territory, you're no longer in control. Saltwater crocodiles are known for their remarkable speed, both in and out of water. When they strike, they can launch their powerful bodies at lightning speed, often from below the surface of the water, catching their prey completely off guard. One of their most terrifying behaviors is their infamous death roll. After grabbing their prey, saltwater crocodiles drag them into the water and spin rapidly, disorienting and drowning the unfortunate victim. This tactic has evolved to ensure no escape once a crocodile has locked its jaws around its prey. Even animals as large as water buffaloes and sharks fall victim to this ancient predator. Saltwater crocodiles are territorial and highly protective of their space, making them even more dangerous. Found throughout the northern regions of Australia, they inhabit rivers, estuaries, and even venture into open sea. These crocs are not limited to coastal areas. They can be spotted far inland in some outback waterholes, where they lie in wait for unsuspecting prey. With a population now exceeding 100,000 in Australia, saltwater crocodiles are a growing concern, particularly in the Northern Territory and Queensland. Despite efforts to manage their numbers through conservation programs, the potential for human encounters remains high. For anyone venturing into the outback, knowing the risk that these crocodiles pose is essential for survival. When you are in their territory, it's not a matter of if they will attack, but when they will strike. Number 12. Bushfires. Bushfires in the Australian outback are a force of nature unlike any other. With the intense heat and dryness that characterize this vast desert, the conditions are ripe for fires to break out suddenly and spread with terrifying speed. During the dry season, the vegetation in the outback becomes highly flammable, and a single spark, whether from lightning or human activity, can trigger a blaze that stretches for kilometers in just minutes. In 2023 alone, over 84 million hectares of land burned in northern Australia, an area larger than the entirety of New South Wales. These fires are not just restricted to forests or scrublands, they can easily engulf the wide open plains of the outback, where there is little in the way of natural barriers to stop them. The unpredictability of the wind and the abundance of dry fuel make these bushfires capable of moving incredibly fast, leaving very little time for anyone caught in their path to escape. The real danger, however, lies in the intensity of these fires. Temperatures during a bushfire can reach over 1,000 degrees Celsius, and the heat alone is enough to incapacitate even the most prepared adventurer. Smoke from these fires is equally deadly, causing disorientation and making it difficult to breathe, which can lead to panic and confusion. Once a fire gains momentum, it can be impossible to outrun it, especially on foot. Despite efforts to control these fires, the risk remains significant. Indigenous ranger groups have taken proactive steps by conducting controlled burns, which help reduce the amount of dry vegetation that fuels larger fires. However, even with these measures in place, the sheer size of the outback and its remote, inaccessible areas make it difficult to prevent every fire from spreading. Number 11. Dingoes. Dingoes are a fascinating yet dangerous part of the Australian outback's ecosystem. Usually shy and elusive, these wild dogs tend to avoid human interaction. However, under certain circumstances, their behavior can change dramatically, especially when they're in packs or struggling for food. Dingoes are known to become aggressive if they feel threatened, and when resources are scarce, they may target livestock or even humans. Recent incidents highlight this growing concern. In 2024 alone, there have been 16 reported dingo attacks at Cassowary, with 9 involving children. In one particularly alarming case, a 4-year-old girl was severely mauled and had to be airlifted to the hospital. These wild animals, especially in packs, see smaller or weaker individuals as potential prey, which makes encounters with them dangerous, especially in isolated parts of the outback. Dingoes primarily hunt kangaroos, wallabies, and other native wildlife, but they have also been known to attack livestock, posing a significant challenge to farmers. While they play an essential role in controlling the populations of these animals, they can become a serious threat when food is scarce. While dingoes are considered native animals and are protected, there have been ongoing arguments about how to handle them because they sometimes come into conflict with humans, especially in areas where they move around freely. Number 10. Sydney funnel web spider. The Sydney funnel web spider is no ordinary spider. It is one of the most venomous spiders in the world, making it a serious threat if you find yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time. While usually found in more urban or forested areas around Sydney, these deadly creatures are capable of surviving in the cooler, sheltered environments of the outback, especially after heavy rainfall or during their active mating season. The Sydney funnel web spider is infamous for its aggressive behavior. Unlike other spiders that tend to flee when disturbed, the funnel web stands its ground. If provoked, it will rear up on its hind legs, showing its large fangs before striking. And when it bites, it holds on tightly, often biting multiple times to inject as much venom as possible. The venom contains a potent neurotoxin called delta-atrichotoxin, which attacks the nervous system of humans and primates. Once bitten, symptoms can develop within minutes, including extreme pain, convulsions, nausea, and even difficulty breathing. This spider's venom is no joke. Without treatment, a bite can be fatal within hours. The anti-venom for the Sydney funnel web spider was developed in 1981, and since then, fatalities have been prevented, but that doesn't make the spider any less dangerous. The venom is most potent in males, who tend to wander more frequently than females, especially after summer rains, looking for mates. Unfortunately, this increases the chances of them crossing paths with humans. The sheer tenacity and deadliness of this spider make it one of the most feared creatures in Australia. Although the anti-venom has saved lives, its aggressive nature and quick-acting venom ensure that the Sydney funnel web spider remains a significant danger, particularly for those unfamiliar with its habits. In the harsh conditions of the outback, a run-in with this spider is a serious situation, one that demands immediate action and medical attention. Number 9. Eastern brown snake. The eastern brown snake is a creature that commands respect in the Australian outback. Known for being responsible for more snakebite deaths in Australia than any other species, this snake is both fast and aggressive when threatened. Its venom ranks as the second most toxic of any terrestrial snake in the world, capable of causing paralysis, uncontrollable bleeding, and death within an hour if untreated. When an eastern brown snake strikes, the venom quickly targets the circulatory system, leading to blood clotting issues, severe hemorrhage, and cardiac arrest. Symptoms like nausea, abdominal pain, and even collapse can occur within 15 to 30 minutes after the bite. Without anti-venom, a person can die within hours, making it essential to get immediate medical help. Despite its dangerous reputation, this snake isn't out to hunt humans. It's typically hunting small mammals like mice and birds, using its sharp senses to track prey. However, its proximity to human settlements makes it a frequent danger. In the vast, unforgiving landscape of the outback, a surprise encounter with this snake could turn fatal if you aren't prepared. Number 8. Box jellyfish. In the coastal waters of northern Australia, the box jellyfish is a silent yet deadly predator. Known as Chironex fleckeri, this jellyfish has tentacles that can grow up to 10 feet long and are armed with millions of venom-filled stingers. Even a brief encounter with one of these tentacles can be fatal. The venom attacks the heart and nervous system, causing excruciating pain, difficulty breathing, and, in severe cases, cardiac arrest within minutes. Death can occur as quickly as 2 to 5 minutes if the sting is not treated. What makes the box jellyfish particularly dangerous is its ability to swim. Unlike most jellyfish, which simply drift with the currents, it can move at speeds of up to 7.5 kilometers per hour while hunting small fish and prawns. Box jellyfish are most commonly found in shallow waters, especially during the warmer months of the year. This increases the chances of unsuspecting swimmers encountering them. Since the first recorded sting in 1883, the box jellyfish has been responsible for at least 64 deaths in Australia. Most victims have been children, as their smaller body mass makes them more vulnerable to the venom. When it delivers a large dose of venom, the victim may experience rapid cardiovascular collapse, often leading to drowning before they can reach the shore. Although treatments have improved, with vinegar often recommended to neutralize the stingers and prevent further venom release, surviving a major sting still depends on rapid medical intervention. Anti-venom is available, but it must be administered quickly to save a life. Number 7. Flash floods. Flash floods in the Australian Outback are one of nature's deadliest surprises. Despite the region's reputation for its dry, arid climate, sudden, intense rainfall can turn dusty landscapes into raging torrents of water within minutes. These floods come with little warning, making them especially dangerous. Water races through normally dry riverbeds, sweeping away everything in its path, from vehicles to unsuspecting travelers. A flash flood in the outback doesn't just bring water, it brings devastation. Roads can become impassable, and deep channels of water can form in areas that were dry just hours earlier. The speed and force of these floods are what make them so terrifying. In some cases, rainfall hundreds of kilometers away can trigger a flood, giving little time for anyone caught in its path to react. It's estimated that as little as 50 millimeters of rain can cause these deadly torrents in some parts of the outback due to the ground's inability to absorb water. In 2023, Australia saw a rise in such extreme weather events, with flash floods being particularly dangerous. The shift between dry spells and intense downpours, often referred to as climate whiplash, has led to more frequent and powerful floods across the country. Some areas that experienced record-breaking heat one month were hit by floods the next, as storms poured down relentless rain. The unpredictability of these floods, combined with the vast, remote stretches of the outback, means that even seasoned locals can be caught off guard. Always keep an eye on the weather and be cautious in low-lying areas or near dry riverbeds after rain. One moment of rainfall can transform the landscape, and when that happens, there's little time to escape. Number 6. Taipan snake. The coastal taipan is one of the most dangerous snakes in Australia, and for good reason. Found along the northern and eastern coasts of Australia, this snake possesses one of the most potent venoms in the world. With fangs that can grow up to 13 millimeters long, the coastal taipan is equipped to deliver a deadly bite with lightning speed. Its venom, a mix of neurotoxins and coagulants, causes rapid paralysis, internal bleeding, and muscle destruction. Without antivenom, a bite can lead to death in less than an hour. Despite its aggressive reputation, the coastal taipan is generally shy and prefers to avoid human encounters. However, when cornered or startled, it can become unpredictable, striking repeatedly in quick succession. This species is highly alert and fast, making it even more dangerous if it feels threatened. What's truly terrifying about the coastal taipan is its venom's efficiency. A single bite can inject enough venom to kill over 100 humans, and the symptoms appear almost immediately. Nausea, convulsions, and difficulty breathing are just the start. Death typically results from respiratory failure or cardiovascular collapse if medical help isn't sought quickly. Before the development of antivenom in 1956, a bite from this snake was almost always fatal. The coastal taipan prefers habitats like sugarcane fields and open woodlands, where it hunts rodents, often taking advantage of agricultural areas where its prey thrives. While it is primarily found along the coast, Its adaptability allows it to venture inland, including parts of the outback, making it a real threat for anyone traversing these remote areas. Always be cautious in snake-prone regions and seek immediate help if bitten. Before we move on, here's today's subscriber's pick. In the desolate expanses of the Australian outback, snakes are a constant, hidden presence. Among the rugged rocks and dry scrub, they move silently, blending into their environment. The outback is home to some of the most venomous snakes on the planet, making it one of the most dangerous places for those unaware of its deadly inhabitants. Of all the serpents slithering through this vast wilderness, the most dangerous are the coastal taipan and the inland taipan. The coastal taipan is a fast-moving, highly aggressive predator, capable of striking multiple times in a matter of seconds. Its venom is a neurotoxic cocktail that can kill a human in less than an hour without treatment. This snake's sheer speed and accuracy make it a fearsome adversary. On the other hand, the inland taipan, also known as the fierce snake, holds the crown for having the most toxic venom of any land snake in the world. Though it's more elusive than its coastal counterpart, a single bite contains enough venom to kill over 100 humans. Fortunately, this snake is rarely encountered due to its shy nature. Which of these deadly predators do you find more terrifying, the aggressive coastal taipan or the elusive but even more venomous inland taipan? Let us know in the comment section below. Number 5. Redback spider. The redback spider, a close relative of the black widow, is one of the most notorious creatures lurking in the Australian outback. Small yet deadly, the female redback, with its distinctive red stripe, delivers a venomous bite that can cause severe pain, nausea, and, in rare cases, death. Measuring about 1 centimeter in size, the female is responsible for the dangerous bites, while the much smaller male, just 3 to 4 millimeters, poses no threat due to its tiny fangs that can't penetrate human skin. These spiders prefer dry, sheltered areas like sheds, under rocks, and even inside outdoor toilets, an unsettling thought for anyone wandering through the outback. Redbacks spin messy, funnel-like webs, often in human-inhabited areas, making encounters more likely. Although they're not naturally aggressive, a female redback will bite if disturbed. And, disturbingly enough, there are about 2,000 reported redback bites annually in Australia. The venom of the redback spider contains latrotoxin, a neurotoxin that attacks the nerves, causing the release of neurotransmitters that lead to painful cramps, vomiting, sweating, and sometimes difficulty breathing. While the bite is rarely fatal today, thanks to the introduction of anti-venom in 1956, it's not something you want to face alone in the outback. Before anti-venom was available, fatalities occurred, especially in isolated areas far from medical help. Surprisingly, despite their deadly reputation, redbacks feed mostly on insects. However, they are capable of catching much larger prey like small lizards and even baby snakes if they get tangled in the sticky trap lines of their webs. This adaptability, along with their ability to live for up to 3 years, makes the redback a resilient and ever-present danger in the outback. Number 4. Gympie-Gympie plant. Deep in the heart of the Australian outback lies a plant that appears deceptively harmless, but harbors a sting so excruciating it has driven people to madness. Meet the Gympie-Gympie plant, also known as the suicide plant. This seemingly innocent plant is covered in tiny, needle-like hairs that inject a powerful neurotoxin into the skin. Once those hairs embed themselves, they release a venom that causes immediate, intense pain, which has been compared to being burnt by acid and electrocuted simultaneously. The pain starts within seconds of contact and only gets worse over time, peaking around 30 minutes later. But here's where it gets even more terrifying. The pain doesn't go away quickly. Victims can suffer for weeks or even months. Some have reported experiencing flare-ups of pain, even years after the initial sting, especially when exposed to water or changes in temperature. This plant is no small matter in the Australian bush. It lurks in rainforest clearings and along creeks, areas where unsuspecting hikers or animals might brush against it. Even the air around the plant can be dangerous, as the Gympie-Gympie constantly sheds its toxic hairs, which can cause respiratory issues if inhaled. The tales surrounding the Gympie-Gympie are as harrowing as they come. There are accounts of horses stung by the plant, going mad with pain and dying within hours. One soldier in World War II reportedly had to be strapped to a hospital bed for 3 weeks after falling into a Gympie-Gympie plant. In another case, a forester who was stung across the face described it as worse than any other pain he had ever experienced. There is no known antidote to the Gympie-Gympie's venom, making it one of the most dangerous plants in the world. The only recommended treatment involves pouring a solution of diluted hydrochloric acid over the affected area and using waxing strips to pull out the embedded hairs. Even then, victims are left to endure excruciating pain for what can feel like an eternity. So, when wandering through the Australian outback, you'll want to be extra cautious of this unassuming yet deadly plant. Number 3. Cassowary. In the remote stretches of the Australian outback, there's one bird you definitely wouldn't want to cross paths with: the cassowary. Often found in the northern parts of Australia, this large, flightless bird might seem out of place in such a rugged landscape, but its territorial nature and lethal defenses make it perfectly adapted to survive here. Known as the world's most dangerous bird, the cassowary sports a dagger-like claw on each foot, measuring up to 5 inches long. If it feels threatened, the cassowary can launch a powerful kick that could slice through flesh and even bone. In fact, its sharp claws and muscular legs make it capable of running at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour, even through the thick bush. While the cassowary is usually shy and avoids confrontation, it becomes extremely aggressive when defending its territory, especially if provoked. There have been over 200 recorded cassowary attacks, with many occurring when people got too close or tried to feed the bird. One of the most notorious incidents dates back to 1926, when a cassowary fatally attacked a boy, using its claw to sever his jugular vein. Yet, despite its fearsome reputation, the cassowary plays a vital role in its environment. As a frugivore, it helps disperse the seeds of various rainforest plants, some of which are too large for other animals to eat. Number 2. Bull ants. In the vast and rugged Australian outback, few creatures are as aggressive and dangerous as bull ants. These large ants, often reaching up to 4 centimeters in length, are not only known for their size, but for their extremely painful stings. Found across various parts of Australia, they thrive in the outback's harsh environment, often building their nests underground or under rocks. What makes bull ants particularly fearsome is their potent venom, which they inject using a stinger located on their abdomen. Unlike many other insects, bull ants can sting repeatedly without harming themselves, delivering multiple painful stings in rapid succession. The sting's pain can be immediate and intense, lasting for several minutes, and in some cases, it can trigger severe allergic reactions. These reactions range from swelling and redness to more dangerous symptoms like difficulty breathing and a rapid drop in blood pressure, known as anaphylaxis. In the outback, far from medical help, such reactions can be life-threatening. Bull ants are also highly territorial. They won't hesitate to chase down intruders who come too close to their nest. Some species are even capable of jumping toward threats, using their sharp mandibles to latch on before delivering their sting. Their excellent vision allows them to detect movement from up to 1 meter away, giving them an edge when defending their territory. Although bull ants typically hunt small prey, they can be a serious danger to humans and animals alike. In remote areas, such as the Australian outback, the risk increases significantly due to the distance from emergency medical services. Number 1. Stonefish. In the murky coastal waters of the Australian outback, one of the most dangerous creatures hides in plain sight: the stonefish. Known as the most venomous fish in the world, it lurks among rocks and coral, perfectly camouflaged to ambush both prey and the unsuspecting passerby. The stonefish's venom is stored in 13 sharp spines on its back, and a single step on this creature can trigger an incredibly painful and dangerous envenomation. The venom, injected when pressure is applied to these spines, can cause intense pain, rapid swelling, paralysis, and even death if not treated quickly. A sting from a stonefish often leads to severe symptoms like difficulty breathing, cardiac arrest, and muscle paralysis. Though stonefish aren't aggressive, they use this potent venom as a defense mechanism when threatened. Most stings occur when people accidentally step on them, as their camouflage is so effective that they are nearly impossible to spot on the ocean floor. The venom's effects are immediate, and the pain is often described as excruciating, so severe that it has driven people to seek emergency medical help within minutes. Without antivenom, which has been available since the 1950s, death is a very real possibility. Adding to their mystique, stonefish can survive up to 24 hours out of water, making them resilient creatures in shallow tidal zones. Despite their venom, larger predators like sharks and rays still hunt stonefish, and in some parts of the world, people even eat them, though the venomous parts must be carefully removed. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.